Hello, everyone. Come on down, come listen to your reading. Um, I was excited because today is January 8th, and my daughter is born on January 8th. So, special shout out to Isaiah, baby Ice, yeah. Also, Elvis, shares the same birthday, right? Yeah. So, messages that came in: be yourself to be the whole. And that puzzle piece came back again. So I feel like there's a strong message about playing your individual part or being your individual self to be able to be part of the whole. I got Frankie Goes to Hollywood for whoever out there, whatever that may mean to somebody. Go Your Own Way, the song by Fleetwood Mac. Um, And then I have a bit of a story time. I went to the used bookstore yesterday, and I, of course, went to the mystical, spiritual section, and I saw an astrology book that just said astrology on it, and it was one of those really old books that almost has that fabric-y kind of feel to it, and they're usually like pastel because they're all old, right? And so I flipped through this book and nothing really caught my eye. And when I closed the book to put it back on the shelf, I looked inside the inside cover, and in pencil was written, there was a name, but that didn't catch my eye. That wasn't the thing, but the date that came out in my mind was, I was reading January 17th, 1920. So as I was walking home, I was thinking, well, maybe there's some good astrological events that have happened on that date. So I went and Googled it, and it was the prohibition of alcohol in the US at the time, or the so-called US at the time. Anyhow, I actually had heard that the history of prohibition of alcohol with astrologists lately, because it's a repeated pattern. So I looked in the dictionary for the word prohibition. So one, it's a prohibiting, and two, it's the forbidding by law of the manufacture or the sale of alcohol liquors. So it was a law about you could drink it, but you couldn't make it or sell it or buy it or anything like that. So that was kind of really too obvious to me. So I took it a step further and I looked up the word prohibit. So where the word prohibition comes from, right? And prohibition is just this word in motion. That's what shun means, right? So prohibit means in Latin prohabiere, which means before, the word before, added to, because pro is a prefix. So it's before you have it. So number one, to forbid by law or by an order. And number two, to prevent or to hinder. And I was thinking to myself, I looked at the word prohibit in the thesaurus, just to get ideas of other meanings of the word prohibit. So prohibit let's look at prohibition. Okay, so prohibition means one, to ban, blockage, boycott, curtailment, embargo, restriction, stoppage. It also can mean to, as a noun, to, or ban, bar, constraint, indirection, restriction, taboo. And that really got me thinking, taboo. So if the word prohibition can mean forbidding something by a law or an order, what is that order? What is that law? And it made me think a lot about what may be taboo to others, or others in other countries or regions, you know, something over here might be fine for some people, you know, so what makes it that you wouldn't be able to do that same thing in your own location, right? So I was thinking about that Two of Swords, that I believe it was that first reading, that if anybody was struggling with, you know, really difficult decisions, you know, I know that a lot of times we use our 3D brain, which just gathers the information, and then we try to logicalize that information to come up with an answer. And I feel like if you're doing that looking externally, you know, there's so many things that are taboo. You decide to what is good for you, right? And that, I think that's going to help you with your answer. And then I got Bob Marley, the Redemption Song, and the words, you know, the free yourself from mental slavery really stuck out. I got the word orchestra, and you know, an orchestra is made of all the sections, you know, the brass, the percussion, the wind, you know, everything. It takes all the different sound vibrations, you know, to make that type of music or make that arrangement. And then I got, it takes all the different parts joining in to make the whole, right? That's like that puzzle pieces. So I feel like there's a strong message about, you know, really embrace your individuality. It's sacred, you know, what makes you, you know, is, you know, like being part of that orchestra, right? Eight of Pentacles fell out earlier when I was shuffling. And that's really about setting priorities. They could be old priorities, new priorities, but setting some priorities, doing what's important, leaving the rest, cutting old stuff that, you know, is going to hold you back, reevaluating, rethinking, wondering, you know, like doing the thing of like, you know, is this fulfilling? You know, should I even keep down this path? You know, and a lot about regeneration, so starting something new. The song Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz keeps coming in so strongly. It's still here. The Rocky theme song. Da, 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 you know, that song came in. And the song Cruising Together by Gwyneth Paltrow and Huey Lewis. So if there's any messages for any of you out there, I hope that, you know, that would be helpful as we all make our way. I'm just gonna draw some cards. You see, allow, notice what cards come out. This will be, you know, for everybody's best and highest intent, for their best advice, most clearest advice. Oh, we got the High Priestess. Oh, and there's, look at that. I think there's a card right under it. Wow. The Lovers. This High Priestess came out on one of the recent readings, but she was talking about something else. So for some of you out there right now, it's recommended to use that High Priestess energy as far as slow down, do your best to take a time to, you know, or just tune in, like just slow down, listen, cancel all the noise, and notice what you hear. That's what intuition is. The High Priestess is usually shows up to say that just hang in there, hold off. There's something more for you to know, or something that you don't know. something that's going to be very valid to you. But this time she's speaking about the Lover's card. So that's really beautiful because this card does go in tandem with that. This is about utilizing the feminine energies, utilizing our intuition, all those things that go along with that energy. And the Lover's card is about having a divine choice, having a divine path, having a divine outcome, something that you would know instinctively what to do. You would know instinctively how to make your choice. Yeah, so that's so wonderful. So for some of you out there, or all of you out there, the High Priestess is whispering about the Lovers. By following your heart, listening to your intuition, you will have that lover that you're looking for. Woohoo. So I designated this deck tonight for the current energies. This one I'm designating to how we feel, our emotions, how we react, how we respond. Oh, let's see what happens. Something's going. There's a Three of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and the King of Wands. Right on. Well, threes are a lot about a system being set in place. So you've got 2 threes, which there's a flow, there's a system, there's, there's something's working. Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles, Three of Cups, King of Wands. Yeah, these ones mirror each other quite beautifully. It's basically a quick message also about keeping that flow going. You've got something started, it's gotten off the ground, keep your attention to it. Can be little by little and in increments, doesn't have to be a long push. Whatever this card is making you feel is probably how to approach it. But seems like in order to get the pattern of 3 together, there has to be consistency. So just keep that momentum going, because you'll have a real cause to celebrate. For each one of these things that you've drawn into your life, hold them into your life, you're going to have 3 good reasons why to celebrate. It could be anything for anybody. And the King of Wands. Keep being the master of your own creative ideas, your creative flow. Keep being the master of your own passion. Do not hold back your passion. Be yourself all the time. Creativity always has to flow. It doesn't like being blocked, right? So, yeah, that's beautiful. Oh, you just got that song, Take Your Passion, da, 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 and make it happen. Da, da, da. That came out. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so if this deck, I was saying, if this is about kind of the emotions and the feeling, keep up with the hard work. celebrate as you go as well. That's another message. Because sometimes we forget to celebrate. We'll go, oh, we'll celebrate later, or we'll celebrate when it happens. Celebrate along the way. And saying that King of Wands energy. Woo. And then I've also designated this deck so that we could see real clear if there's any real small print, fine print, you know, something that maybe we weren't paying attention to, or we would like to know more about, you know, maybe something a little bit more pinpointed. Take your passion and make it happen. That was off, not Fame. Well, it was the theme song for Fame. And it was from the Flashdance soundtrack. That's right. Woo. King of Swords. You couldn't get any more clearer, more focused, more agile, adept, crystal clear. You couldn't be more crystal clear. I'm glad that it came through on this deck. It's so fitting. It's time for the king. The queens represent our inner world a bit more. The kings represent our exterior world, the yang world, the physical world. So there's a clear message about holding your tongue. Our tongue is a weapon, right? Our words create our worlds. But our tongue can be used as weapons for good or for, you know, not good. But I feel like there's a maturity that's here, that it's not like the knight who would say recklessly get a sword out, or the messenger, you know. But there's a maturity in knowing when to use your words, how to use your words. And it's almost like, you know, there's a mastery of understanding your own communication. So that's really wonderful. Right on. And I hope you guys enjoyed everything that came out here for the messages. I loved it. We'll talk later. Bye.